Good morning, Stephanie.
Good morning.
Hi, kids. A hot tea, please.
Welcome to Mornings on Main Street. I'm your host, Stefanie Miller. Thanks so much for stopping by today. The hospital that you see behind me, this is TriStar Summit in Hermitage. Well, they recently completed its more than $75 million in renovations to enhance and spruce up the visitors lobby, the tower, adding additional ICU beds and giving their cafe a new look. There's quite a lot that went behind those renovations, the thought process to not only enhance a visitor's experience coming in and those that they serve here at TriStar Summit, but to also add a higher quality of environment for their nurses, doctors, and support staff here at the hospital. We get to learn all about that this morning from the COO of TriStar Summit. He'll not only share with us what all went behind and went into those renovations, but he'll also talk to us about the ribbon cutting coming up on Thursday. But first, let's get a check of the forecast and just see what these temperatures will look like for us in the coming days with the team at Tennessee Valley Weather.
From the Tennessee Valley Weather Channel, this is your weather on Main Street.
Happy Wednesday. I'm Kelly Rawson in the Tennessee Valley Weather Center with a check at your forecast. Stay bundled up this morning. We are starting off very, very cold. Air temperatures in the single digits, eventually warming up into the teens by mid-morning. And we have a wind chill value into the single digits, if not a little bit colder to start off. But we have a little bit more sunshine compared to yesterday for southern middle Tennessee, and we will see temperatures hit right around the freezing mark, if not just a few degrees above for today. So we are going to start our warming trend for tonight. Temperatures will only get down into the lower 20s, but yes, still a very cold overnight. For Thursday, we are expecting some warmer temperatures. We're talking lower 40s for the afternoon. So warm up is on the way, but today still on the cold side, especially this morning. But for your Thursday, again, we stay dry with the mixture of sunshine and clouds. A few flurries can't be ruled out on Friday, non-impactful by any means, just a low chance of a few passing very light flurries. Temperatures a little bit cooler to reflect an increasing cloud cover. Then cloud cover will increase once again on Saturday as we are close to 50 degrees on Saturday, but then we see rain move in overnight, continuing into Sunday and even into Monday as well.
Hello, here's the latest news and weather from Main Street Media TV. Ashland City woman MYA Nicole Tabor was arrested for drunk driving, resisting arrest, and assaulting officers after consuming double whiskey shots. Starting January 1st, customers of Portland's natural gas, sanitation, and water and sewer departments face fee increases, with details accessible on the city's webpage. A 61-year-old man has been arrested in Hendersonville for allegedly shooting a family's pet cat with an arrow, leading to its death. The Paris-Henry County Arts Council announces the return of the Eugene Gillish Writing Competition, inviting writers to explore the theme Voices of Tennessee, a historical journey with submissions due by February 21, 2025. Despite freezing conditions, the Gallatin Unity Day Parade, honoring Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., successfully took place, featuring speeches, a vehicle procession, and a breakfast spread, ending with a program attended by local dignitaries and community figures. News and weather, visit us online at mainstreetmediatn.com. Thanks for watching.
It appears the new year for many has started off with feeling under the weather. The amount of acute respiratory illness causing people to seek health care is at a high level, according to the CDC. Simple steps, however, can be used to help reduce your risk of catching and spreading the viruses going around right now. This includes washing your hands regularly, wearing a mask in crowded spaces, staying home, getting rest, and staying hydrated when you're sick. Before we go to break, Dr. Ken Kollerick, ER physician and director of the emergency department at TriStar Summit, shares what his ER is treating currently.
Well, it's cold and flu season. You know, that's kind of the main thing. We're seeing a lot of respiratory, especially like today where the temperature really dropped. People really feel that in their lungs. A lot of influenza A, which is a viral respiratory infection, kind of affects the mucus lining of your windpipe in your lungs, kind of increases mucus production, gives you some fevers and chills. We're also seeing a little bit of a spike in COVID also. You know, now is the time when everybody's indoors, close contacts, people are spreading it in between people, so a little bit of a spike in COVID too. Now, remember that the COVID we're seeing nowadays is not the kind of, so to speak, lethal COVID we saw in 2020. It's much more, I would dare say, benign, but people who have chronic respiratory conditions like asthma or COPD in the elderly, very susceptible to the COVID and kind of having some respiratory symptoms. So that's kind of the big things.
How do we know the difference in at what point do we need to make our trip to the hospital and say, hey, we need to be seen?
Well, usually, again, if you have a history of any sort of lung conditions and you're starting to have infection symptoms like that, it's good to come to the ER and get checked out, you know, just because, you know, they're the ones who really get affected and have the bad outcomes with these. The common person out there who gets the flu, honestly, they're going to do fine. You know, we do have some medicines that kind of decrease the severity of the influenza virus, but the healthy 30-year-old person out there that rides their Peloton 3 times a week, realistically, they're going to do fine. So the extremes of age are the other thing we worry about, the extremely young and the extremely old. This is also for the young people RSV season. RSV, again, a virus that kind of replicates in the mucus lining of your windpipe, but since little kids have such small windpipes, that extra mucus production really kind of makes it difficult for them to breathe. So the RSV kids, you'll know to bring them to us when they start having some difficulty breathing. You know, yeah, they'll run the fevers, they'll have the cough, that's okay, but when you start noticing they're having some difficulty actually with their breathing, that's when you bring them in, and sometimes a short course of steroids will make a big difference for them. Again, it being very cold out, I mean, this part of the country, I as you know, I have I don't have the language down here. I trained in Michigan, so we're very experienced with cold-related injuries, but down here people are not familiar with that and realize that it's a very short period of time with cold exposure before things like frostbite and frost nip can set up. So again, make sure you keep those fingers and toes and your nose covered in those cold weather conditions so you don't get any frost nip or frostbite.
This holiday season, the largest lantern festival in the country returns to Nashville Zoo. Experience more than 1,000 all-new, handcrafted lanterns, towering creatures, magical worlds, and a North Pole village. At the center of it all, the Smashville Ice Rink. Welcome back to Zoolumination at Nashville Zoo. Bigger, brighter, and better than ever.
Step into the Lionel retail store at Opry Mills, Nashville, and you'll be captivated by all the magic of the 123-year history of Lionel trains. Whether you're already a train enthusiast or just getting started, Lionel will energize your love for trains. NASCAR fan? Come check out your local Lionel station to learn all there is to know about model trains and die-cast NASCAR collectibles. Visit nashville.lionel.com or call 615-455-9399.
You're seeing the signs too, right?
What signs?
Welcome back to Mornings on Main Street. I'm thrilled to be here at TriStar Summit in Hermitage with the COO. We have Mr. Drew Gray. First off, thanks for your time.
Good morning. Thank you for being here.
It is such a pleasure to be here. You know, not that long ago, and I want to say it was last year, we saw all the upgrades at TriStar there in Dixon. Mm-hmm. You've had some upgrades here, $70+ million worth of upgrades to really revamp what the hospital looks like. How important is that for you here?
Well, it's crucial. TriStar Summit opened in 1994 at our current location, and in that 30-year period, there have been lots and lots of enhancements, lots of expansions as the community's grown and we expand to meet the needs here. We're standing over our patient lobby, which has been expanded and renovated. It was a $76 million project, and we were able to refresh a lot of spaces to make it much more warm and inviting, but then also add about 28 ICU beds, expand our cafeteria and the Frisk Cafe, and really bring a much more warm and inviting area for our patients and guests.
Before we get to looking at the cafe and just how beautiful that is, check out, you're able to see the hallway here in the ICU. You have a wider hallway there, a lot of natural light. When it comes to looking at how rooms are going to be renovated, what do you guys take into consideration?
Well, first and foremost is the patient. We are committed and dedicated to the patient care first and foremost, but part of that story is the family that we're involving in their care. So making sure we have adequate seating and space for the visitors who are here, making sure we have rooms and areas for respite, because it's sometimes very heavy to be in the hospital rooms and families need a moment to step out, have a meal, have a fresh cup of coffee, as you mentioned, get some sunlight, and that's a better healing environment for everyone.
Your quality of care starts with the doctors and incredible nurses that you have here at the hospital. What does this do to better their work environment?
Well, we're pretty excited. The hospital never turns its lights off, so we're always open. So being able to provide some 24/7 opportunities, better areas for break rooms. We've been really excited and gratified to see entire teams taking lunch together, being able to collaborate, being able to relax, being able to enjoy their time together, and then getting right back to work to serve our patients. So having this extra space really gives us a lot of options to serve our colleagues and our guests even better.
From leadership here at the hospital, and when you talk to your doctors after these renovations are complete, what is that biggest compliment? What is like something that sticks out that your doctors or nurses might say to you?
Oh man, I think it's a great question, but I would tell you that the fact that they believe the payoff has been worth it. Putting everyone through renovations is not the most fun part of my job, but it's really gratifying to see people enjoying it and saying that the payoff was worth it. Our colleagues are so happy to have these great spaces. The energy level from even our volunteers has been really exciting as everyone really gets to have a lobby and an opening space that reflects the depth and care of what's happening behind the scenes is really great.
Moving out of the ICU rooms and the area there, going down to the
Frisk Cafe.
The Frisk Cafe,
yes,
the eating area. Hats off to you guys. It looks great in there. It's
really incredible. It's a lot of fun to be able to incorporate spaces that don't look like you're in a hospital. I think that's a nice touch. The designers brought great skill to that, and we're really excited to even use some local art and fixtures of local monuments and local reflections of who we are and where we're at in the community.
When I say that, and sorry, getting a little misty, when you're at the hospital and you're with your loved one receiving life-saving care, you need to go out and get food. You need to keep your energy high, and the last thing you want to do is to exit those hospital doors. So the fact that you guys kept that in mind, and again, you have a little patio area, so they're still right here and they can get good food, quality food. Everything looks fresh. I hear that you work with local restaurants.
Yeah, we did partner with some local restaurants through an organization called Fooded that allows different groups to come in and set up a station there to be able to serve. One of the neat things as we honor our traditions here, a gentleman from the Hermitage area that people will know is Mr. Phil Ponder. And Phil, we celebrate him. He was the first non-physician board chair here at Summit. And at some point in our history, we actually had a pavilion outside that people could go and have a moment. And as that had to make way for this enhancement, we've got some news that we'll share with the community soon to really recognize his commitment and his presence in the community, even as we expand and grow how the hospital looks.
What reporter would I be if I didn't ask a little bit of that news? Can you share anything or give a little hint?
The Ponder Pavilion, I think, was our history, and the Ponder Patio is going to be a really nice enhancement that'll be front and center for our guests and our colleagues to really enjoy a brief moment outside and some sunshine.
I love that. For those who may not know, what communities do you serve? Because you're right here, Wilson, Davidson County, right here.
Well, Donaldson, Hermitage for sure. Certainly we see patients from Antioch as well, but we also serve and have a great history in Wilson County, all the way through 40, whether it's Mount Juliet and Lebanon, even into Watertown and beyond. We see patients out in that direction.
Okay, before we talk about the ribbon cutting, this big event that's going to be happening here at TriStar Summit, what else is in the future for your hospital here?
Well, we're really excited about the growth of the community. We have always been a place, a destination that families choose for their care. So we're excited to be able to continue to offer that. And we have some neat things in store. One of the interesting stories that I learned as I got here is this facility, we added an 8th floor a couple of years ago. So we can't go up on this tower, but our new tower even has a shell story and can grow up. So we have some things for our growing community, in particular maybe mothers and families, or something that we'll talk about soon, maybe this time next year.
Well, hopefully you'll be sharing that with us here at Main Street Media of Tennessee and at Mornings on Main Street. Now let's talk about the ribbon cutting and the festivities for that.
We're excited to bring the community out here to celebrate with everyone and recognize the formality of this phase of our project and opening and getting into the springtime.
Mr. Gray, anything I didn't ask that you would want to share about TriStar Summit?
TriStar Summit's a great place. I think our people really tell the story here. Our founding family, the Frist family, there's a quote that's circulated a lot: bricks and mortar don't make hospitals, people do. And even as we've enhanced the bricks and mortar, it's still a people story. We're still here for patients. Above all else, we're committed to the care and improvement of human life, and I think we live that mission every day here, with just some nicer environments to do that in now.
COO Drew Gray of TriStar Summit here in Hermitage, thank you so much for your time. Thank you for sharing this with all of us. I know this will not be the last time that we connect, and I'm excited about that.
That sounds great. Thank you so much for being here.
Oh, my pleasure. And you know, you mentioned that quote saying it's the people that make the hospital, from the greeters, the volunteers, the staff, doctors and nurses. Thank you so very much. We always, make sure that we thank our first responders and law enforcement, but when you get here to the hospital, they're the ones behind these life-saving measures that are done. So thank you for all the tireless hours that you put in each of your positions at all of our Tennessee hospitals. Again, thank you so much. Stick with us. We have a little bit more. We'll be right back.
Thank you.
He's an after-luncher. He's a football game half-timer.
All right, boys, it's time.
She's a coffee breaker. Oh, careful. I've got this. She's a whenever I can get 5 minutes-er. Whenever you like to bank, Ascend's app has you covered. Transfer funds, apply to loans, do banking stuff.
I'm a banking person-er. Is that okay?
Yep, come on in. Ascend Federal Credit Union.
At Delta Dental of Tennessee, we know our success begins and ends with providing superior quality service, and that includes serving those who need it most. This year, we're celebrating 25 years of giving back to the community we call home. Delta Dental, along with our Smile 180 Foundation, supports Tennessee's dental colleges and oral health education, children's hospitals, free and reduced cost dental clinics, and other like-minded charities. Here's to the next 25 plus years of ensuring healthy smiles.
Welcome to the Omni Nashville Hotel. Urban elegance with a vintage touch. Our 800-room hotel opened up in the fall of 2013 with 746 guest rooms and 54 suites.
Hi, I'm Dr. Vilay Saisuka, CEO and founder of Premier Foot and Ankle Centers of Tennessee here in Murfreesboro. We offer foot and ankle care from ingrown toenails to diabetic foot wounds. We also fix ankle fractures and things like that.
Call us today to schedule an appointment. We look forward to seeing you.
Because here at Premier Foot and Ankle, we believe that
the journey begins with happy feet.
Welcome back. Thank you, TriStar Summit, for having us out to share the upcoming ribbon cutting, which is happening on Thursday for the newly renovated visitors lobby and tower. You'll also be able to check out some of the other areas that have been renovated, like right here at Ponder Patio. Not maybe great for right now, but when it warms up, this is going to be a wonderful spot to grab a bite to eat and to sit and maybe just have a little solitude outside. Also, again, check out Frist Cafe. This is a newly renovated cafe here at TriStar Summit. If you come out on Thursday from 2 to 4 for that ribbon cutting, well, grab a bite to eat because it looks delicious in there. The food smells so good. Thank you again for having us out to share this. That ribbon cutting, once again, happening on Thursday from 2 to 4 here at TriStar Summit in Hermitage. Thanks for joining us here at Mornings on Main Street. Stay warm. Have a fantastic rest of your day. Check on all of the pets that you know of because of these cold temperatures. Also, your elderly friends and family members or just some neighbors. Check on them this time of year. See you tomorrow morning. Have a great rest of your day.